are you? I hope all are good. Today let we start SST chapter number 3, Delhi 12th to 15th century, यानी कि दिल्ली 12 से 15 शताब्दी. The period of Delhi Sultanate is an important period in the history of India. जो दिल्ली जो सल्तनत का जो समय है वो सबसे भारतीय इतिहास में सबसे महत्वपूर्ण समय रहा है. This period began in the later medieval period from 1206 CE to 1526 CE. 5 dynasties that ruled during this period are, तो जो दिल्ली सल्तनत में जो 5 जो शासक थे जिन्होंने यहाँ पे शासन किया, कौन कौन थे? स्लेव डायनेस्टी, खलजी, तुगलक, सैयद एंड लोधी. सो राइज ऑफ दिल्ली सल्तनत. अब कैसे इसका मतलब कैसे उदय हुआ इसका? The importance of the city of Delhi became evident in the later medieval period. In the early medieval period, Delhi began to develop into an important place. तोमर राजपूत were the first to make Delhi their capital city. जो तोमर राजपूत थे उन्होंने दिल्ली को राजधानी बनाया. In the middle of the 12th century, they were defeated by the चौहानास of अजमेर. अब 12 सेंचुरी में क्या हुआ था? उनको किसके द्वारा तोमर और राजपूत को चौहान के द्वारा हरा गया. Also known as, क्या कहते थे उनको? चाहमनास. Both Tomars and Chauhans contributed in the development of Delhi as a city of trade and commerce. दोनों का ही योगदान रहा है. किन किन का? तोमर और चौहान दोनों का ही योगदान रहा है दिल्ली में, मतलब जो है व्यापार बढ़ाने, उसको आगे ले जाने के लिए. Coins called Delhi Wal was also minted in Delhi during this period. Delhi gained more importance as a royal capital city by the beginning of 13th century. So this is Delhi Wal. This is coin. The rule of Chauhanas came to an end with the defeat of Prithviraj Chauhan by Muhammad Ghori. अब क्या हुआ? जो चौहाना का जो शासन था, with the defeat of Prithviraj Chauhan, अब उनका the rule of Chauhanas came to an end. पृथ्वीराज चौहान को जब किसने? मोहम्मद गौरी ने हराया था तराइन के दूसरे युद्ध में. ठीक है, किसने? मोहम्मद गौरी ने जब पृथ्वीराज चौहान को हराया था ना, तो क्या हुआ? वहां पे जो चौहान शासन था उसका अंत हो गया था. दिस ओपन द वे फॉर तुर्किश रूलर्स टू एस्टैब्लिश देयर डोमिनेंस ओवर दिल्ली. अब ये तुर्किश रूलर था, कौन था? मोहम्मद गौरी. इसने जो है दिल्ली को अपने उसमें ले लिया. मोहम्मद गौरी डाइड विदाउट एन हैंड, हेंस हिज जनरल्स कैप्चर्ड हिज टेरिटोरियस एंड एस्टैब्लिश देयर रूल. किसने? मोहम्मद गौरी ने. Qutbuddin Aibak established his rule over the Indian territories and thus began the phase of Delhi Sultanate. This turned Delhi into a central place for control over Delhi Sultanate. अब ये यहाँ पे पूरा इसका जो है टेबल दिया हुआ है कि किसने कैसे कब तक करी. स्लेव डायनेस्टी 1206 से 1290, मोहम्मद बिन तुगलक 1324 से 1351, कुतुबुद्दीन ऐबक 1206 से 1210, फिरोज शाह तुगलक 1351 से 1388, शमसुद्दीन इल्तुतमिश 1210 से 1236, सैयद डायनेस्टी कब से कब तक? 1414 से 1451, रजिया सुल्ताना 1236 से लेके 1240 तक, खिजर खान सैयद 1414 से लेके 1421, नसरुद्दीन महमूद 1246 से 1266, मुबारक शाह 1421 से 1434, गियाजुद्दीन बलबन 1264 से 1287, मोहम्मद शाह 1434 से लेके 1445, खलजी डायनेस्टी 1290 से लेकर 1320 तक, और आलम शाह 1445 से लेके 1451 तक, जलालुद्दीन खलजी 1290 से 1296, अलाउद्दीन खिलजी 1296 से 1316, तुगलक डायनेस्टी 1320 से 1414 एंड गियाजुद्दीन तुगलक 1320 से 1324. उसके बाद लोधी डायनेस्टी, बहलोल, सिकंदर लोधी और इब्राहिम लोधी. कब से? ये 1451 से 1526. बहलोल की हुई 1451 से 1489, सिकंदर लोधी 1489 से 1517 एंड इब्राहिम लोधी 1517 से 1526 तक. सो सोर्सेज ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन. अब ये इंफॉर्मेशन मिली कैसे हम लोगों को? तो उसके जो कुछ स्रोत यहाँ पे दिए गए हैं. द सुल्तानास ऑफ दिल्ली पेट्रोनिस्ट हिस्ट्रियंस कोड, ओके, क्रॉनिकलर्स, राइटर्स एंड स्क्राइब. The Turco-Arab tradition of recording events made chronicles the most valuable sources of information. This led to an organized system of record keeping. We can find many archaeological and literary sources, inscriptions, coins, monuments, है ना, उस टाइम के सिक्के, जो स्मारक हैं, provide a lot of information about this period. Okay, the travelers by Ziauddin Barni, Shams Siraj, Afid, Minhaj Siraj, Ibn Battuta and Marco Polo, who visited the subcontinent during this period, also provide valuable information about the reign of Sultans of Delhi. Persian historical records are called Tariq singular of Tawarik plural written by different people such as administrators, courtiers, poets, etc. are also important literacy sources. The slave dynasty. The rulers of this dynasty were Mulk Sultan. Mamluk in Arabic means owned. The early sultans of this dynasty were slaves, but because of their intelligence and hard work, they rose to powerful position. So, Qutbuddin Aibak. Qutbuddin Aibak was the founder of the slave dynasty, also called Mamluk dynasty. He ruled for just 4 years. He was Muhammad Ghori's slave and a capable general. Qutbuddin established his control over Delhi after Muhammad Ghori is dead. This new kingdom is described in history as the first dynasty of the Delhi Sultanate. He was a kind-hearted and charitable ruler. ठीक है, बहुत ही मतलब kind-hearted था ये. He initiated the construction of Qutub Minar in Delhi and made Delhi his royal capital. Razia Sultan. Razia was the only Muslim woman ruler of Delhi. He succeeded her brother Ruknuddin Firoz Shah. She was well liked by the common people. Minai Siraj, a court chronicler, believed that Razia had all the qualities of a god ruler and was more worthy of the little than any of her brothers. But since she was a female, she could not be accepted as a ruler. As a female, उसको किसी ने भी वहाँ पे जो है शासक एक्सेप्ट नहीं किया. ये तो महिला है, ये संभाल ही नहीं पाएगी. Razia's reign was short-lived and full of problems. The nobles, especially Chehalgani, could not tolerate a woman's rule. They wanted power in their hands. Therefore, they conspired against her and killed her in a battle just outside of Delhi. Her grave is near Turkman Gate in Delhi. है ना. अब उस कौन था? चेहलगानी. उसको पसंद ही नहीं आ रहा था कि ये क्यों शासन करे, तो क्या किया, युद्ध में, दिल्ली के बाद युद्ध में उसने उसको हरा दिया. Khalzi's administration. Let's talk about Khalzi. Alauddin Khalzi. Alauddin Khalzi was the most powerful ruler of the Khalzi dynasty and the Delhi Sultanate. He was a brilliant general and very clever administrator. He was the first Turkish Sultan to build an imperial empire in India. His policies were very effective for the development of his empire. मार्केट कंट्रोल पॉलिसी ऑफ अलाउद्दीन खिलजी, जो उसका मार्केट था उसको कैसे कंट्रोल होता था वो. अलाउद्दीन मेंटेन अ लार्ज आर्मी. वो बहुत बड़ी सेना को मेंटेन रखता था. एंड नीडेड अ सब्सटेंशियल अमाउंट फॉर इट्स मेंटेनेंस. और अपनी आर्मी पे वो सबसे ज्यादा पैसा खर्च करता था उसको मेंटेन रखने के लिए, है ना. सो टू मीट द एक्सपेंसेस ऑफ मेंटेनिंग दिस आर्मी ही हैड टू फाइंड न्यू वेज टू ऐड टू हिज रेवेन्यू. मतलब आर्मी को मेंटेन करने के लिए वो नए नए तरीके ढूंढता था. अलाउद्दीन खिलजी gave orders to measure all the land which was under cultivation. He brought the assessment and collection of land revenue under the control of the state. The local chieftains had to pay taxes instead of receiving them. There were 3 types of taxes. कौन कौन से टैक्स होते थे वो? लैंड रेवेन्यू, यानी कि विच वॉज 50% ऑफ द प्रोड्यूस. टैक्स ऑन कैटल, टैक्स ऑन हाउस. इन 3 तरह के टैक्स उसने शुरू कर दिए थे. अब वो टैक्स से क्या करता था ना, अपनी आर्मी को देखभाल करता था, उसकी आर्मी पे खर्च करता था उसको, इसलिए तो वो टैक्स लेता था. Alauddin Khilji also introduced an efficient market control policy. He fixed the price of food. उसके जो फूड ग्रेन्स के प्राइस थे ना वो बिल्कुल फिक्स होते थे, है ना. So he also made different kinds of arrangements for the supply of commodities. The farmers growing corn without 100 miles of Delhi were allowed to keep only 10 mounds, यानी कि small tons of corn with them. The remaining was sold to the government according to the rates in the tariff list. रेट के अकॉर्डिंग बाकी सब जो है गवर्नमेंट को सेल करना होता था. Reforms by Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Certain reforms that were brought by Muhammad bin Tughlaq were favorable, while some other proved to be disastrous. Let's learn about some of them. 1. Ulemas or the scholars possessing knowledge of the Muslims earlier had influence over the functioning of society and enjoyed many privileges. However, Muhammad bin Tughlaq put a restriction on their privileges and questioned their certain beliefs which angered them. Number 2, the Ganga Yamuna Doab was very fertile. बहुत ज़्यादा मतलब उपजाऊ थी वहाँ की ज़मीनें and yield produce of good quality. The Sultan raised the land tax in this region for more revenue. क्या करा उसने, वहाँ उपजाऊ ज़्यादा थी भूमि, वहाँ पे अच्छी फसल होती, वहाँ ज़्यादा टैक्स बढ़ा दिया फिर उसने. But unfortunately, this race coincided with a severe famine. As a result, a large number of peasants abandoned their land and went elsewhere, while some of the others revolted. The order of race tax was finally retracted. Muhammad bin Tughlaq decided to shift the capital from Delhi to Devgiri. अब वो चाहता था कि उसको कैपिटल को दिल्ली को देवगिरी शिफ्ट कर दिया जाए. He ordered to shift royal court as well as the people of Delhi. The decision was not only impractical but also highly expensive. It also left the northwestern borders of his empire open to attacks from Mongols. However, he soon realized his mistake and issued order to reshift the capital to Delhi. वहाँ उसे खतरा लगा मंगोलों से, इसलिए फिर वापस उसने दिल्ली को वहीं पे शिफ्ट कर दिया. Now, another setback for Muhammad bin Tughlaq was when he introduced new token currency. It so happened that there was a shortage of silver in the kingdom. To overcome this problem, अब ये नई समस्या खड़ी कर दी, उसने जो है चांदी के सिक्के बनवाने शुरू कर दिए. The Sultan decided to issue bronze and copper coins. फिर उसने क्या किया, अब चांदी को स्टॉप कर दिया, ब्रॉन्ज के सिल्वर तांबे के और कांसे के सिक्के बनाने शुरू किए करेंसी में. These coins were minted and were equal in value to silver coins, which were called टंकास, यानी कि जिनको टका बोल देते हैं. The Mongols. अब Mongols इस पे भारी थे. Mongols were an ethnic group belonging to Central Asia under the leadership of Genghis Khan. They had become a fearful enemy to face in battle. They laid siege on many kingdoms and plundered everything when victorious. कई kingdoms को उन्होंने seize कर दिया था. The successor of Genghis Khan continued attacking and plundering kingdoms. They decided to invade India and plunder its wealth as well as establish control over Delhi. This brought them in direct conflict with Delhi Sultanate. So, while the early sultans chose diplomatic and defensive means to deal with the Mongols, the later sultan chose to face them head-on, and they effectively dealt with the Mongols, the most prominent among them being Alauddin Khalji and Muhammad bin Tughlaq. They maintained large armies to hold off any Mongol threats. In the latter phase of the Sultanate, the sultans were not as powerful as before and faced a lot of revolts and turmoil. Taking advantage of the situation, Timur and Taimur, a Mongol ruler of Samarkand, invaded Delhi and plundered all its. The Sayyid dynasty. Timur, before leaving India, appointed Khizr Khan to manage the affairs of Punjab on his behest. Khizr Khan was earlier with Firoz Shah Tughlaq, but defected to Timur's side when Timur attacked India. Khizr Khan occupied the throne of Delhi Sultanate in 1414 CE and started the Sayyid dynasty. His successor Mubarak Shah wanted to establish a strong empire like the Delhi Sultanate of the past, but he focused more on controlling the nobles who wanted power for themselves. The last ruler of dynasty, Alam Shah, was replaced by Behlol Lodi, and thus it marked the end of the Sayyid dynasty and he took his rule in India. Administration during the rules of sultans. The Delhi Sultanate court. The court of the Sultan was majestic and ceremonial. The Sultan was head of administration and enjoyed supreme power. His responsibilities were to protect the Sultanate, rule justly and maintain law and order. He looked into the welfare of his subject, but some odd features of the Sultanate were the following. 1. Generally, there was a struggle for power when a Sultan died. Number 2, the nobility and ulemas were very powerful. The Sultan was the chief justice as well as the commander-in-chief of the army. He appointed ministers and officers for various duties. Okay, all finance like the income, expenditure as well as collection of revenue were looked after by the wazir. Whenever the Sultan went out, जब वो कहीं बाहर चला जाता था, so he left his wazir in charge. अब वो क्या करता था, अपने वजीर को इंचार्ज बना देता था of the capital. The wazir enjoyed full authority over the revenue department. वजीर को full authority होती थी संभालने की. He made important appointments and therefore was very powerful. The next important portfolio was that of Arizi Mumalik, यानी कि administration and needs of the army were looked after by Arizi Mumalik and his deputies. They employed the soldiers, equipped them and trained them. They also paid the soldiers. The Bakshi was the paymaster of the army. Chief Qazi was a judicial post. He was the head of the judicial department. He also looked after noble causes like charities and religious matters. Nobles were the most powerful men in the territory. They were the kingmakers, and even the most powerful sultan followed an appeasement of policy with the nobles. The nobles enjoyed both military and civilian posts in the government. There were several ranks among the nobility. The highest were khans, the maliks, and the kamad, the amirs. The Ikta system. The kingdom was divided into territories called Ikta. The nobles who had villages or lands under their control were called Iktadars or Muktis. So usually military commanders, they led military campaign and maintained law and order. Their Iktas, they also collected revenue and other taxes. So part of the money collected as tax was used to maintain the army and the soldiers under the Iqtada. A fixed amount from the revenue collected was also paid to the Sultan. But a check was needed on the Iqtada so that they did not overtax the poor farmers and also maintain the troops properly. The Iqta sometimes could be taken back by the Sultan and another Iqta by granted instead. The Iqtas were taking over the son when the father died, thereby making the system hereditary, but trends changed from time to time. The Iqtas were further divided into Shikhs and Shikhdar. Looked after it, the Shikhs were subdivided into parganas which were placed under an amil. A pargana was made up of a number of villages. These villages were headed by a village headman or muqaddam. So the all topics are covered in this chapter here. I hope you all are very well understand and enjoyed the chapter. So we will meet next class. Thank you.